Good morning and welcome to the Fellowship of Spirit Zoom meeting coming to you from Farmington, New Mexico. This is the 22nd of September and it's a beautiful Sunday day here. It's kind of a little bit hazy and it was chilly this morning, but when I went outside, but it's a great fall day and we haven't got very much color yet, but we will soon.
Yvette got an inch of snow.
Yvette did, yeah.
In Boulder, Colorado.
Boulder, Colorado had an inch of snow.
Wow.
We have one of our ladies who joins us for our book study lives in Boulder, Colorado, and she reported that she got an inch of snow.
Wow.
Anyway, there's not many of us here, but we are here, and we are very enthusiastic and happy to be here. So today we're going to have someone's going to pray. Who's going to pray to open us up? Susan's not here. Well, if nobody else will, I will. And then we will have Shay Johnson is going to play our music, and she's also going to do our spiritual reading. And then Margaret Cheasebro has got a wonderful message for us today. And I'm Ron Holloway. I'll be your moderator, and I hope that you'll just sit back and have a nice day and a nice session. So let us go. There's Bill Clark. He got back and he's here. We didn't know if I didn't think he was back, but he's here.
Hello, everyone.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is do you have any announcements?
No, other than we gave several boxes of books to the library for their library sale on Friday. And they were thankful for our books. We would love to have given them more, but they wouldn't take more.
So you figure we gave them over 200 books.
At least.
We gave them around 200 books, and we still have almost that many left.
So we're going to have another free book giveaway on Saturday the 12th, October the 12th.
Can I have I don't know if you can hear or not, but we're going to have a free book giveaway here at the sanctuary on October the 12th. So, and there are quite a few good books, and they're all good titles. They're all good, and they're in good shape. Were probably read once and put on a nice shelf, and they're like new. So come and they're free. You know, there's not a whole lot in this life that is free, but this is absolutely free with no strings attached. You can grab it, take it, and leave. So come by and check us out. 209 East 13th Street here in Farmington. So, all right. So Shay has a song for us to start us off, a prelude. So she's going to play now. Thank you, Shay. We have a new device that we're using. We're using a little Lazy Susan thing to help us to move our computer around more smoothly, and I'm getting used to it because it'll go and then it'll try to flash back. I'll get used to it and it'll be okay. All right, so let us pray. Father, Mother God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this sanctuary. We thank you for the fellowship. And we thank you for this life that you have given us. We ask that you would guide us and help us to do those things which benefit us and all of mankind. Ask that you would heal those that are feeling sick, protect those that are traveling, and help any who are struggling today, that you would just have our light and our love going out from this sanctuary to light up the world. Amen. All right. So now she's going to sing another song, Gather the Spirit.
This is in the blue binder.
Thank you, Shay. I can't hang on to anything today. Dropping things on the floor. All right, so now, Shay, would you mind getting the microphone, the little one?
I'm sorry.
Is everyone hearing me okay?
Not really, you're not as strong as you usually
Well,
are.
I don't have the microphone, and I'm
That's
probably
my
not as
bad.
strong either. So,
There you go.
thank you. Is that better?
Yes. Thank
I
you.
suspect it is. There we go. All right, so if you'll follow along with me, we will do our reflection moment. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. Okay, so I think that Shay has a reading from Little Gibran for us.
And I just turned this mic on.
Okay.
So, I'm going to read from Love. Then said Almitra, "Speak to us of love." And he raised his head and looked upon the people, and there fell a stillness upon them. And with a great voice he said, "When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. And when he speaks to you, believe in him, though his voice may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. Like sheaves of corn, he gathers you unto himself. He threshes you to make you naked. He sifts you to free you from your husks. He grinds you to whiteness. He kneads you until you are pliant. And then he assigns you to his sacred fire, that you may become sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart.
Thank you. Thank you, Shay. And now we get to hear Shay do another song. So you can have a song in your heart that's in the binder. No, it sounded really beautiful. Thank you. So we have Margaret Cheasebro to give us our message today, and she is a wonderful speaker, always well organized and very well prepared. And I have no doubt that she is those things today. What I want to do before we get started is, Margot and John, can you hear us okay? Give me a thumbs up or something.
We can hear you, Ron.
Okay, well, we had some trouble with some parts of our of our audio. We think we have those problems fixed, but I just wanted to check and make sure.
Well, the last song was a little bit weak, though. We barely hear it.
Well, okay, well,
Okay.
I don't know that we can do a lot about that, but we,
Okay.
thank you. We're glad that you're with us. Hi, Margaret.
Hi, Ron.
All right, well, we're gonna let Margaret give us our message. Go for it.
Okay. I will never forget hearing Wayne Dyer's cassette tape series, The Secrets of Manifesting Your Destiny. That was a long time ago when cassette tapes were used a lot. Dyer developed the series to teach about a kind of meditation called japa that he learned from a guru in India. The guru offered to teach him the meditation after he read a book that Dyer wrote and really liked it a lot. Japa meditation is done in the morning and in the evening. In the morning, you meditate to the sound of ah. That sound is in the word used for God in many different religions. For example, Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah. You spend that time being in a state of praise. In the evening, you meditate on the sound of Om. It is a time of gratitude for all that has happened during the day. And sometimes during the morning and evening exercises, you can focus on something that you really want to manifest in your life. At the end of the evening meditation, you combine the sounds of Ah and Om, which sound a lot like Shalom, the Hebrew word for peace. When I was growing up, my family prayed every day. We did it as a group in the morning. In the evening, my mom would sit by our beds and listen as we said evening prayers. They almost always started with, "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep." But I had never really known much about meditating. When I started to practice japa meditation, I noticed an immediate change. I felt more joyful and peaceful. It surprised me that the change was so sudden and so noticeable. I practiced japa meditation for many years, and I still do it in a modified version. Then I took a meditation course taught by Paramahansa Yogananda. He grew up in India and was a Hindu yogi. In 1920, he founded Self-Realization Fellowship to spread his teachings worldwide. I still practice a few of the things I learned during that course. They were quite helpful. But as much as meditation has improved my life, I still find it easy to let other things get in the way of meditating. Some days it's so easy to think that there are too many important things to do to make time for meditation. Over 50 years ago, I came across two books that touched me deeply: God Calling and God at Eventide. They were written by two women who chose to identify themselves as listeners. They began a practice of spending time in the morning and the evenings to sit quietly and listen to God. They got such loving, supportive messages from God that they began writing them down and eventually compiled them into books so others could benefit from the messages too. When the women began their listening time, they faced some challenging emotional and physical problems that at times felt overwhelming to them. But those listening times brought them such strength and healing that the problems became much easier to handle. For a while, I set aside time every morning and evening to sit quietly and listen to God. When I did, it helped me to see things in a slightly different point of view. If something upset, angered, or overwhelmed me, I found that if I sat in the quietness of God's presence, I could begin to see things from a new perspective. Sometimes the things that upset me actually became an opportunity that I would have missed if I had held on to my anger, my sense of being mistreated. I still do that sometimes. If something happens that upsets me, I do it at the moment I realize I'm overreacting to whatever happened. Sometimes, though, it takes me a while to admit I'm overreacting. It continues to amaze me that when I begin to calm down, I see things from a completely different and often peaceful point of view, and sometimes a really beneficial point of view that I would have totally missed otherwise. As wonderful as those times are, I have never been able to keep a consistent day in and day out meditation practice. Some days I'm quite good at it. Other days I get carried away with the task at hand and don't take time to meditate in the morning. I do consistently have a time of prayer and meditation every evening. The only problem I've found with that is that in the evening, I'm so tired that I don't always take as much time to meditate. I was quite intrigued when the pews toward the back of our sanctuary began filling up with books to be given away. They were there for several weeks, and there's still some there. And some of those books seemed quite interesting. If I can read and absorb what's in just a few of the books that caught my eye, I will have gained much practical knowledge. I hope I can apply some of the things I've been learning. A 6-volume set of books particularly grabbed my attention. It is called Life and Teaching of the Masters of the Far East by Baird T. Spalding. I am still in the early part of the first volume. It details experiences that Spalding had while part of a research party of 11 people who visited the Far East beginning in 1894.
The Himalayas.
They stayed for 3.5 years, learning from great masters there. Volume 1 tells about the first year of their experiences. They contacted the great masters of the Himalayas, who were so spiritually advanced that they could turn long-lasting difficulties that the group faced into solving problems very quickly, like in even less than a day. The masters could be in more than one place at the same time by raising and lowering their vibrational levels in their body. Many of them had been alive for more than 500 years. Though the masters accepted that Buddha represented the way to enlightenment, they understood that Christ is enlightenment, or a state of consciousness, Christ consciousness, for which most of us seek. They were of the Buddhist faith, but they understood the essence of the messages that Christ brought. They taught the research party about many things, including the power of silence. One of the masters, named Emil or Emil, I'm not sure which, but I'm pronouncing it Emil, told them, silence is power. For when we reach the place of silence in the mind, we have reached the place of power, the place where all is one, the one power, God. And then they quoted something that comes from the Bible. They said, "Be still and know that I am God." Spalding asked Emil questions and recorded what he learned. Emil showed me that he was able to call the birds to him and direct their flight while they were in the air, that the flowers and trees would nod to him, that the wild animals would come to him fearlessly. Emil explained that this is not the mortal self, the self you see, that is able to do these things. It is a truer, deeper self. It is what you know as God, God within me, God the omnipotent one working through me that does these things. Of myself, the mortal self, I can do nothing. It is only when I get rid of the outer entirely and let the actual, the I am, speak and work, and let the great love of God come forth, that I can do these things that you have seen. When you let the love of God pour through you to all things, nothing fears you, and no harm can befall you. This ability comes from much time spent in silence, in meditation. Emil and the other masters used what they learned in the silence to effortlessly provide food for the research party. When they needed bread, the masters didn't grind corn and use other ingredients to make bread and bake it. The bread simply appeared as they thought about what they needed. Spalding wrote, "As we stood there spellbound, a large loaf of bread was in Emil's hands, nor did the supply stop until there were 40 loaves upon the table before us, placed there apparently by Emil himself." There are a couple of parables in the Bible where Jesus provided food for hungry crowds that followed him into the wilderness to hear him preach. Jesus appeared to have used the same principle Emil was using. Emil told the research party, was it not Jesus' true mission here on earth to show that we, as sons of God, or man in his true estate, can create as perfectly and harmoniously as God does? Getting to the place where it's possible to do that takes a lot of time in meditation, in silence. Emil told them, every good desire man has is God's desire. Therefore, there is an unlimited supply in the universal God substance all about us to fill every desire. All we need to do is to learn to use what God has already created for us, and this He wills to have us do. that we may be free from every limitation and thus be abundantly free. When Jesus said, "I am the door," he meant that the I am in each soul is the door through which the life, power, and substance of the great I am, which is God, comes forth into expression through the individual. This I am has but one mode of expression, and that is through idea, thought, word, and act. That was such an important thought to me. I'm going to repeat it one more time. This I am has but one mode of expression, and that is through idea, thought, word, and act. Emil continued, Jesus was sent by the Father to show us that the Father intended us to create exactly as he creates. All are to do the perfect work as Jesus did by recognizing the Christ in himself and in all. This all sounds wonderful to me, but I'm not sure I know how to do it very well. I feel excited about the concept that we can sit in silence and connect with the Christ, the I am, that is in all of us. In that situation, we are surrounded by the universal God substance, which is so loving and so powerful that it can provide healing, wholeness, food, and everything we need. But I still have a lot to learn about meditating. Sometimes it seems that I'm just scratching the surface. I'm not always sure that I get into a state of meditation very well. I have heard several times that we need to stop getting upset with ourselves for not meditating as well as we think we should, and just do it. And when we get distracted, lovingly guide ourselves back to the task at hand. Even so, sometimes I can be my worst critic. As I thought about my inadequacies one day, I went through the books in the pews again to see what I could find. One title jumped out at me, The Dynamic Laws of Prayer by Catherine Ponder. The book fell open to page 63, which said, "First step in prayer of relaxation. Speak to your mind and body." It was talking about prayer, but it could apply to meditation just as well. I read, when you sit down, kneel down, or lie down to pray, your first conscious act of prayer should be to speak to your body, as though it were a little child telling it to relax. Your body is filled with intelligence, and its cells will actually hear your decrees for relaxation and will respond. You will be amazed how the body will take you seriously and follow your instructions. This was a great idea. I am finding that it not only helps in meditation, but if I have a sore muscle, I can speak to that muscle and say, "You can relax now." I'm still trying to get the hang of it, but if I can get better at it, I think it will be amazingly helpful. The book went on to list other ways to help relax into prayer. It will take some time and study for me to absorb them all, but it seemed like I had found a helpful step-by-step approach. Then my eyes were drawn by a nearby book called Frequency, The Power of Personal Vibration by Penny Pierce. In it, I read things I already know, that the earth is vibrating and that within us is a world of vibration too. It reminded me of what I'd read about the great masters of the Far East that Spalding and his research group met in 1894. They had learned to use the vibrations in their bodies to do amazing things like be in more than one place at the same time. On the next page was an exercise to journey through your body's vibration. It was an 11-step exercise to focus on your breath and vibrations in your body until you reach a very quiet place where there is no movement. Just be in that place as you absorb guidance, instructions, and energetic blueprints that help you return to the perfection in which you were created. I didn't take that 11-step journey because at that moment, my mind was on overload. I didn't think I could absorb much more. The information I've been exposed to in these books is both overwhelming and exciting, and it will take a lot of time and practice to successfully apply what I've been reading. But I also realize that everything I try, every practice I attempt to undertake is a process, and I learn from it all. As I keep on learning and practicing, I'm bound to get a little better at meditating and to experience more benefits from it. It's kind of like when I began to practice japa meditation. The benefits were immediate. All the problems in my life were not solved. All the challenges were still there for me to work through, but I was able to tackle them with a deeper feeling of peace and joy than I'd had before. Some of those books in the pews have opened up new things for me to try, or have reminded me of helpful things I once knew that I haven't done for a long time. I can't imagine being able to do all the things those masters of the Far East were doing. But if I begin to understand a little of what they taught, I think my life will be richer for it. We are all on a journey, and sometimes it feels like we're barely surviving huge challenges in our lives. Along the way, we come across information, people, or experiences that help us begin to grow a little more, delve a little deeper into knowledge, wisdom, and healing practices. They will all help us feel a little more peaceful and joyful as we continue on our journey through life. On your journey, may you find pews full of books, wise people, and experiences with sitting in the silence. All of that will help you bask in the presence of the universal God substance, where you can find healing and wholeness and the answers that you seek. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Yeah, hold on a second. Life and Times of Masters of the Far East is one of my favorite collection of books. Also, when we started our book study, that was, if not the first, it was one of the first collection of books that we studied and read here. I remember sitting in the pews in the back before we ever had the edition. We studied that. So Bill indicated he remembers that also. It was really it was really enlightening and good, and it was, the information there is just invaluable, I think. So thank you for bringing that and for being with us today. Thank you, Margaret.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything you'd like to say to Margaret?
Just thank you for letting us know that there's really this wealth of knowledge in these books. And we just have to take time to look through them and find something that speaks to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I tried the Masters, that first book, and I got totally lost in it. My mind could not comprehend what the Masters could do, and so I'm not there yet. I can't. It was fascinating, but it wasn't something that my mind would accept.
Yeah, we're at different places in our lives at different times. And one time something does not speak to us. At another time we pick it up and think, oh, I'm ready for this.
That was way with
Yeah.
Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
At first I was like,
And some things that we think we knew, we can look at it from a different angle and find it had deeper meanings than we realized at first.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Margaret. We appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you do for us. There we go. Thank you.
thanks, Margaret.
You're a big one. Okay, we're gonna have another song by Shay Johnson now. And it is The Oneness of Everything.
Yeah, if you're looking in the binder, it's by O, not T.
Under oneness, huh?
Yes, under oneness. Far beyond the grasp of hands, more light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind. There find a kingdom where there's harmony in an architecture so entwined. Like a bird whose flutter trees the sky, they carry on in love through joy without expanding. The message of peace will rise in flight, taking the way down the world upon its wings. Of the oneness of everything. Peace is in the dance of trees, which stir before the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the soul becoming one with the dance, and all mysteries can be believed. Like the sorrow of the clouds and tears, all carrying on a soul undemanding. Lessons of love are gifts that we might rejoice in the music that they bring. Of the oneness of everything.
Okay. Thank you, Shay. I was fooling with our settings to see if I couldn't get the volume on our USB microphone to be a little bit more.
What'd you say?
I said that I was fooling with the settings to see if I couldn't find to get our volume on our microphone a little bit more. But I was unable to, it wouldn't move. I could find it, but I couldn't move it. So anyway, it's better than it was. All right, so now let us repeat after me. With me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity, I am prosperous. Okay, so Don and Neva are our only Zoomers we have left. And we have plenty of time for Bill to give us a complete report on his Scotland trip.
Did you
So-
come back with the bro?
I don't know, we'll have to
With a
wait.
what?
We won't say we,
No, I don't think so.
you didn't stay long enough to get acclimated to that.
No, I didn't. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Bill.
Sue and I did have a lot of fun in Scotland, very interesting country, learning about the history, and had a good group of people. It's a great little trip. Today I'm here to share with you a little reading on focus on the remedy. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Quote from Henry Ford. Faults can be glaring as if a giant spotlight is shining on them. We make progress when we deliberately open our focus to include all the resources available to remedy our faults. Brainstorming, we consider any possibility in the hope of finding one that is feasible. Then we give ourselves permission to experiment. It will take trial and error. We will learn from mistakes. But even while making mistakes, we have broken free of the narrow focus on the fault alone. The walkaway is, when I see a problem in a part of my life, I will be quick to look for the ways to remedy it rather than to focus solely on the problem. I think that's a good advice. Focus on the positive, not the negative. God bless and everybody have a great week. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, stay in the solution and get out of the problem. That's
Be the
great.
solution.
Yeah, you can be the solution, absolutely. So, we have no children today.
They're off zooing,
They're off playing somewhere.
playing with the animals.
So, they went to the zoo? Oh, all right, so they're at the zoo. And anyway, we'd like to remind everyone that we have a book study at 8:45 to 9:45 via Zoom every Sunday morning. We do not record that, but you can attend Zoom in real time. The youth group is led by Rhonda Livingston, and it meets from 10 to 11 every Sunday morning.
And I can give you Rhonda's phone number if any of you need to get in touch with her. If
Okay.
you have children interested.
Course in Miracles meets at 6:30 a.m. on Mondays, facilitated by Yvette and Jerry Lard.
And Susan.
And Susan.
And Kate.
Bart, and Kate, and anyway,
We
a
have
whole
quite a
bunch of
few
them.
of us there.
Yeah, Power of Eight meets at 6:30 on Thursdays, coordinated by Margaret Cheasebro via Zoom. And anyway, if you have an inclination to be a presenter and you don't live in Farmington, you can still be a presenter on Zoom if you just get in touch with us. And if you know of anyone that might like to do that, we would love to hear whatever they have to say. We're not real picky. If it's a spiritual topic, it is appropriate. So we're not much into religion here, but we are very, very deeply into spirituality and loving one another and finding out better ways to do that, to increase our awareness of spirituality and our connection with God to be strengthened. And we never ever tell anybody who their God should be or any of the attributes. We allow an atmosphere so that people can find that for themselves. And that's what we're all about. So anyway, does anyone have anything else that they'd like to say? We had sort of a short meeting today.
Yes.
You do? Okay.
We have decided to have our reunion Sunday, the first Sunday in November. I can't remember the exact date of that, but if you'll check your email, there will be a constant contact several times advertising it. It will be our potluck, but Fellowship is providing the dessert. It will be a special dessert to celebrate our 38 years of being in Fellowship Spirit. And so if you have friends, please bring them if they've never been. It doesn't have to be somebody who's been here before. It can be anybody. But we would love to have quite a few people in the pews filled and also on Zoom. So please try to join us. It is a potluck, and there will be a special message by Mark Wolf and a dreaming session shortly after the food, after the potluck, which will be kind of facilitated by Shay Johnson. And it's just kind of a dreaming session on what we would like fellowship to be as we go into this next year. So please, bring some ideas, and please plan on staying a while and enjoying the food and companionship and friendship. So welcome, please,
We should
all.
still wrap up by noon.
We should still wrap up by noon, but I'm thinking noon 30-ish.
Well,
Visitation, talking, time to eat, and, we're aiming for 12:30 is what we're aiming
and
for.
hopefully you will see some people that you have not seen for a while that you have missed and didn't even realize that you missed them, but
And maybe some new people.
maybe some new people also.
And also, keep in mind that we're gonna do the free book giveaway on October the 12th. And so come and look at our books and see what you need to take home with you. Margaret had some great ideas, some great inspiration.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. All right. So I suppose we should
Gather us.
circle up and sing our way out of here. I don't know how this is gonna work. Maybe, it can do fine. We'll just put it on.
Being in the picture.
You are the picture.
Oh, right, I guess I am.
Give us a note, Shay.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together in unity, and yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, family all are we. So let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. May God bless you and keep you until we meet again.
Amen to that.
Amen.
All right.
God bless everyone.
Thank you. Are you glad to be home, Bill?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and we hope that you will come back and see us again. So goodbye and happy trails until we meet again.